Hey everyone, this is Acterys here, Managing Director of Architecture and Platforms here at FP Automation. Welcome back to our series on FP&A. In this video, we will be talking all about workforce planning. Prior to getting into this video, I just wanted to recap from our previous video, specifically around the profit and loss statement series, as to what we covered. We talked all about driver-based planning when it comes to revenue. Ultimately, depending on your industry, you may have different drivers which influence your revenue impact. But having the ability to do this within real time and also compare this to your actual drivers is extremely influential, allowing you to see where variances are at, allowing you to make real-time decisions and influence any sort of fixes or capabilities the business has to be able to capitalize on a certain anomaly or scenario happening within the organization. Now that we have gotten through the top line, specifically revenue and gross profit, we're now going to be talking about the bottom line and specifically on workforce planning. Workforce planning is an extremely influential tool for most organizations to understand who they need to hire in order to be able to run the business within the organization, and understanding the impact from a department perspective, as well as how this impacts the business overall, is going to be integral in order to be able to see exactly what personal expenses do to the overall P&L, allowing them to plan exactly when to hire and who to hire for the organization and what the financial impact looks like. In this view, you can actually see right here that we currently have a workforce planning view rendition of something we typically build with our clients. Ultimately, what we are doing is we are leveraging the Acterys table edit visual, which gives us a tabular input to allow teams to be able to plan positions throughout the year and of course see their salary and FTE impacts, as well as what that looks like from a detailed perspective as we go throughout the months. Let's go ahead and show you an example of how this can be done, leveraging the workforce planning table edit input, as well as parameters that can be controlled at a company level in order to be able to influence things such as bonuses across the organization. I'm going to go ahead and switch to a full screen mode in order to allow us to see the entirety of this table right here, and I'd like for you to pay attention to the last row right here, as you're going to see us immediately change the financial impact here. You've seen many different use cases where we've leveraged the table edit visual, and this is yet another use case where this can be done. Right here, what we actually have the ability to do is add new positions that we may be planning for an organization. So not only can we copy existing positions, but we can also add new ones. In this case, I can leverage different features like the copy selected row feature to immediately copy this position and copy the hire date as to when this position will be starting. I can also influence other things such as the entity of the organization, as well as many others, to see exactly how this is working. So if, for example, if I go back to the report right here, I am focused on a particular entity and department, I can easily go ahead and change these. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and choose a particular department. Let's say that I'm going to choose the HR department. This will go ahead and also filter my data so that I can see all HR members here. And in addition, I can also go ahead and change this to the Acme USA Corporation. So now I have my filters set, and ultimately I can come in here, go to a focus mode, and start to plan my organization. So in this case, I'll go ahead and I'll copy this particular individual here. And you can immediately see that that individual's data has been copied. What this means is we're going to be essentially assigning this particular position to the same exact position as the other various different values right here. So in my case, I'll go ahead and I'll create an employee ID for this individual, and then I'll give this individual a name. Let's do AA for this time being. We can give this individual a job title, and we can also indicate a hire date. Let's go ahead and assume that this individual is going to start on September 1st here. From a salary perspective, we also have the ability to influence whether this is a full-time person or a contractor or a part-time. We can also choose whether or not what the salary is going to look like for this individual, either from a rate times hours or from a salary perspective, and also build in merit for this individual as we plan them over time here. If there are any sort of severance calculations needed, that is also something that can be influenced on here and what that severance looks like over time for that individual. After committing this change, we can ultimately save this change into our model. And then what this will do is allow us to be able to create that position, as you can see right here. Immediately, we can see the financial impact and then what that salary of that individual looks like based on their start date. So we can see right here that this individual started on September 1st. So immediately we can see the salary impact starting at that point. Not only that, but we also have the ability to be able to change this. Let's say, for example, we wanted to change the start date right from within the model right here. So instead, I'm going to go ahead and assume this person starts in October. So immediately you can change around when these individuals are starting as well as ending if there is any sort of termination date or end date. Say, for example, a contractor that is going to be with the organization for a certain period of time, and immediately see the expenses as well as any sort of payroll tax and bonuses and benefits that you would need to factor into your calculations. Another good example right here is also the ability to control workforce parameters. So whether you're planning bonuses or benefits at an individual level or at a company level, Fabric with Acterys is flexible enough to be able to be designed in a way that works for your organization. So imagine now you can change bonus impacts. Let's say, for example, for this year, the bonus impact for all organizational members is 30% based on what you're projecting the year to end at, which is going to be quite a good year from a revenue perspective and a profit perspective. We can immediately change the bonus assumptions here and then see our results straight line here, or of course commingled into 1 month if the bonus is to be paid out within 1 month or over time, all depending on how you want to be able to show the financial impact. So in our case right here, we're spreading the bonus over time, but ultimately this can be changed to be at a individual monthly level if we wish. And as always, we have the ability to be able to flex to a particular employee, flex to a particular department, as well as an entity here. So in addition to the revenue planning, we're also able to do workforce planning in real time, allowing us to feed all of our driver assumptions into the P&L, allowing us to backtrack to exactly how we got to our numbers from a workforce planning perspective and compare that to how our personal expenses are actually coming in from a business perspective. This is one of many examples of how workforce planning can be done. Ultimately, this can be done at a month-by-month level, but we see a lot of clients looking to essentially do a start date, end date assumption push for all their positions that they're planning, and then immediately see the financial impact laid out in a profit and loss perspective. So I hope you enjoyed this particular video here. In our next video, we'll be covering OpEx planning and getting into further calculations that are influencing the profit and loss statement. Thank you, and this is Alp signing out.